a new U.S. policy could let private companies launch cyberattacks under government direction, and that may redraw the rules of digital conflict. Welcome to the Automated Daily Tech News Edition, the podcast created by generative AI. I'm Trend Teller, and today is August 14th, 2026. Here's what matters in tech today. This episode is brought to you by Crystal. Crystal provides agentic cloud telephony for modern businesses. Find the link in the episode notes. We'll start with that cybersecurity story. A newly released Trump administration memo formally allows selected private sector firms to conduct cyber operations on behalf of the U.S. government. Supporters say outside companies can move faster than traditional state agencies when foreign threats emerge. Critics see a much riskier shift, because it muddies responsibility if an operation goes wrong and could make international cyber conflict even harder to contain. In practical terms, this is not just a policy tweak. It raises big questions about who gets to act in cyberspace, under what rules, and who answers for the consequences. That lands on the same day Microsoft delivered one of its heaviest Patch Tuesday releases of the year. The company pushed fixes for roughly 400 vulnerabilities, including 3 0 days that were either already being exploited or publicly disclosed. For security teams, the message is simple: patch fast. The size of the update is another reminder that the software most organizations rely on every day remains a constant target, and delays in patching can quickly become somebody else's opening. In AI model news, the story we followed earlier has a new twist. OpenAI has introduced an ultra-fast API tier for GPT-5.6 Sol running on Cerebras hardware, with output speeds that reach far beyond its standard tier. The headline is less about raw bragging rights and more about what speed unlocks. Faster model responses make real-time assistance, coding tools, and complex enterprise workflows feel much more usable. At the same time, Google is turning up the pressure with Gemini 3.7 Flash, cutting API pricing in half while improving coding performance and developer tooling. That combination of lower cost and better capability is exactly what startups and large companies care about when choosing an AI backbone. And there's more movement in the enterprise AI stack. IBM has partnered with OpenAI to weave those models into IBM's business software and cloud offerings. That gives OpenAI deeper access to large corporate customers, while IBM gets a stronger answer to Microsoft and Google. Taken together, the theme is clear. The AI market is no longer just about who has the smartest model. It's about speed, affordability, distribution, and who becomes the default supplier inside big organizations. The financing side of AI is also getting more intense. Databricks has raised another $5 billion, pushing its valuation to around $190 billion, and showing that investor appetite for data and AI infrastructure is still extremely strong. In a related development, Nvidia has launched a massive $500 billion financing program to help customers pay for large AI build-outs over time. In other words, Nvidia is not only selling chips, it is helping shape how entire data centers get funded. That matters because the next phase of the AI boom may depend just as much on creative financing as on technical progress. Over in transportation, Uber has partnered with Pony.ai to plan a fleet of 2,000 robotaxis across multiple European cities, pending regulatory approval. If that rollout happens on schedule, it would be one of the biggest autonomous vehicle deployments Europe has seen. The broader significance is hard to miss. Robotaxis are shifting from pilot projects into larger platform bets, and Europe is becoming a more important test ground. Expect the usual arguments to intensify from here: safety standards, liability, city regulation, and what this means for professional drivers over the longer term. Apple is making another move in the long-running fight over App Store economics. The company has proposed a standard 15% commission for digital purchases made through external links inside iPhone apps. From Apple's perspective, it offers a clear framework while preserving a slice of revenue outside the traditional in-app payment system. For developers, it may be better than uncertainty, but many will still argue that 15% is too much for a sale completed beyond Apple's own checkout flow. So, while the details may change, the larger debate over platform power and competition is not going away. Two social platform stories today are really about transparency. X says it will expand its open source release to include more of the logic behind its For You feed, along with a user-facing tool that shows whether ranking labels or related systems have affected an account or a post. That is an attempt to answer years of criticism around opaque moderation and alleged shadow banning with something more inspectable. Meanwhile, Blue Sky has introduced a clearer public infrastructure brand and updated developer tools, including a way to replay archived network data and reconnect to the live stream without gaps. Different approaches, same message, social platforms increasingly need to explain their systems, not just run them. And finally, quantum computing is having a very active day. PsiQuantum has received $100 million in CHIPS Act funding to expand U.S. manufacturing for its photonic quantum approach. That is notable because it shows Washington is backing more than one path toward useful quantum machines. Separately, Quantum Circuits and D-Wave are merging in a deal valued at about $550 million, combining different hardware strengths under one roof. The sector is still early, but these moves suggest two things. Governments want domestic quantum capacity, and companies are looking for scale, consolidation, and a broader commercial story. Thanks to our sponsor, 11 Labs. 11 Labs lets you discover the future of AI audio with cutting-edge voice technology. Find the link in the episode notes. That's the Tech News Edition for today. If one theme ties these stories together, it's control. Control of compute, control of platforms, control of infrastructure, and even control of conflict in cyberspace. I'm Trent Teller, and this was The Automated Daily. See you next time.